Well, go ahead and get the tarps out, folks. It's about to get bloody. This is, of course, Sound Off. I am, of course, JP III, and thank you so much for your support and your listenership, not only these past 3 years on vsnow.com, but also the past 20-odd episodes we did of this very podcast. Now we're going to get into the main subject of the show. The mushy side is done. The fun, quote-unquote, stuff starts now. For those of you who are long-term listeners and readers of the website, you know one of the projects that I've had to keep an eye on that I haven't necessarily wanted to keep an eye on, but I am, for reasons that I'm about to get into right now, is a little project called Starswirl Academy. For those of you who aren't long-term readers and listeners of this very website, Starswirl Academy is a fan game from the My Little Pony franchise. It's basically taking Katawa Shoujo, or the idea of the romance high school genre of visual novels, throwing in humanized versions of all the little horses from My Little Pony, and now you get a chance to date them in high school. That's the absolute basic premise of it. The actual story premise, quote unquote, of it is too stupid to get into words here. It really is kind of ridiculous. But suffice to say, if you're interested in my full thoughts on the matter, you can go to the website, look under the You Asked For It section. I talk about it in full there. Bottom line is that the premise is bland and nonsensical. The character is bland and uninteresting. It's not interesting in any way, shape, or form, and the only way you can even remotely like it is if you're a hardcore fan of My Little Pony. Which, to be fair, is the target audience of this game. Now, the common question is, if I hate it so much, why do I keep talking about it? And the reason I keep talking about it is because regardless of my feel of the story direction or the art style, or bronies in general, the bottom line is that this game is going to introduce the visual novel genre to people who have never even heard of it before or heard of it in passing without actually playing the game. So it is incumbent upon those who know what a good and a bad visual novel is to draw the line and say, this is what makes a good one, this is what makes a bad one. And on top of all of that, even though I have standards for the site, I can't turn a game away just because of my own personal preferences. If I did, I would only cover 2 or 3 groups and that would be it. I have to cover visual novels of all shapes and sizes to the best of my ability to give you a full spectrum of what this genre, what this community is actually capable of. Now, Starswirl Academy is nowhere near the best of what this community is capable of, but the team does have some potential. You saw that in the game they did for NaNoRenO, Pretty. Very, very basic, very straightforward. But given the time they had, if they actually took it seriously, I'm putting a lot of caveats in this. If they actually took it seriously, if they actually put aside their obsession with this moe style and did a real legit visual novel and just said, we're going to do this to the best of our ability, they could crank out something decent to good. I'm not going to say it'll be great, but decent to good. However, let there be no confusion about just where they stand as far as the character design. I said in my original review, and you asked for it, that I did for the demo, that there is a fetish for this moe style that cripples the entire game. And the fans went crazy. I still get comments on it saying that it's just a cute art style, JP. You have no idea what you're talking about. They're not even thinking about it that way. Now, before we get into this, and I think everybody knows where I'm going just by the title of this podcast, but let me make a few definitions here just so we're all on the same page. Now, when I say fetish, I don't mean pervert. A perversion is an act. Now, I could be completely wrong. In my definition of the word, perversions are acts. A fetish is a mindset that alters your view of any particular medium. For example, well, actually, I could give a lot of examples. Let me narrow this down. And I was thinking, let me do an anime example, but that's still a lot. High School of the Dead will probably be the one that comes right off the top of my head. High School of the Dead plays into certain fetishes. Sundiras, big boobs, schoolgirls, dumb nurses, take your pick. It plays into those fetishes, but it never crosses the line into perversion. And by what I mean by perversion, it never actually... You don't see a sex scene of of the characters. I guess you see in the OVA something. I don't know from what I've heard, but I'm just going by what I've seen of the show. So if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm not, then let's keep moving. You don't see actual acts playing off of the fetish. You see the fetish in and of itself. And it allows the fandom to take the fetishes and invest in those characters more than what they normally would because of, when you lack a story, a plot, and any general sense of direction, your audience has to grab hold to something. So, when in doubt, and that's really the driving force of a lot of the ecchi subgenre of anime and manga. We don't have anything to offer but these fetishes. So that's where I'm approaching it when I say something as a fetish. It's a mindset. It's how you look at something and twist it into something that doesn't necessarily make it good, palatable, take your pick. A perversion is an act. Now, when I say perversion, that means, going with our analogy, let's say you get your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, as the case may be, to dress up in an outfit from High School of the Dead and act like that character, then have sex with her, or anything else that could happen during coitus. That is perversion. That is... I'm not going to get any further to that. I can feel heads popping and blood rising and shooting out of people's eyes just from behind this very microphone. But when I say fetish and perversion, those are two different things to me. And looking at Starswirl Academy, there is no doubt in my mind, especially when you have or had before Hasbro dropped the boot on them, when you had the creators profiling and promoting fan art of the characters in wet t-shirts, and you promise your fans that there may be a mature version of the game down the line, there's no doubt in my mind that you have, to a degree, fetishized that look. And to be fair, they're not the only one. There is a ongoing fetish surrounding this moe style in anime, not just here, but also on the source wall in Japan. So it's become more common, but that doesn't make it any less creepy to those of us who just aren't that invested into anime and manga as a whole. This brings us right back around to new merchandise that is coming from the fine folks behind Starswirl Academy. And I know what you're thinking. It could be anything at all, considering the fan base for this thing. But no, it's, excuse me, one of these days, sometime this year, I'm going to get through the year without bumping the mic during the podcast. That's going to be a great day. Anyway, the first official piece of merchandise from Starswirl Academy is a body pillow. I keep calling it a daikimakura. I think it's a dakamakura because there's no I in the word where the dai will, you know what, I don't know. I don't speak Japanese, I don't know. Anyway, dakamakura. That seems to be well, I will include a link to the official announcement. But it's funny to me because you asked for it, I made a point that the most demure and the most quote-unquote waifu of all the characters in this game also had the biggest tits. It's funny to me that she's the one that gets the first pillow. But, I don't even begin to understand it. But so we have the first one. It's the character based off of Fluttershy in My Little Pony. And you'll see it on the link. She's very demure and cutesy. And what can you say about it? Now, to be fair, I am a very fair gentleman. To be fair, this is nowhere near the level of explicitity that I have seen, because I did a little research into this whole thing. And yeah, they can get pretty explicit. Trying to keep it clean on this family show. But yeah, if you just want a body pillow to be explicit, you can find plenty. But again, considering the source material for this game, and considering on top of that the art style used for this game, if you're just not into it, it rubs you the wrong way, and it's hard to look at this game other than anything other than fanbait. And considering what it's going to be, like I said, it will introduce tens upon hundreds, if not thousands of people, mostly bronies, of course, but people who may have never played an EVN in their life. It will introduce them to the entire community. This isn't the best foot forward. And I'm a capitalist. I understand you got to make money, but there had to be another way than to play to the acknowledged, understand me, the acknowledged fetishes of the people, or the slight majority of people who are going to play this game. And as much as I like ragging on Starswirl Academy, they're not the only one. There are a couple of groups that are beginning to jump on board the body pillow bandwagon. And you know what? Like, I'm on and off fan of anime. I barely understand merchandise when it comes to anime outside of DVDs and soundtracks. So, to the average fan, a body pillow Dakimakura may not even have the undertones that I'm adding to it, or that have been added to it by industries in Japan, and by otaku in Japan. Here it may mean something completely different. It could just be a regular piece of merchandise that fans have and they prop it up in their corner for reasons. But Sunrider, a project that I have been keeping an eye on because there's a good handful of space opera VNs that are about to launch. Sunrider is one of them. Sierra Ops is another one that I've been keeping an eye on from Intelman. Of course, we have Rising Angels from I Don't Have a Studios, Chief's outfit. We have Toho Mecha, which Chapter 3 should be launching sometime soon. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of growth in this subgenre, and as a fan of Gundam and Macross, I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. However, they have also decided to go the body pillow route, and theirs is much, much more explicit than Starswirl could have been. Well, it could have been much more explicit too, but Starswirl is, rather. Oh God. Here's the thing. They also go with the moe style of artwork here. So it's another level of just, seriously, man, what even in the hell? So this body pillow thing is going to clearly be a thing unless it is confronted in its infancy, which is what this show is about. Now, like I said, I'm a capitalist. If you just want, if you just have to have a body pillow, and you want to shell out, what is it, $70 for the Sunrider body pillows, between 70 and 100, and 50 for the Starswirl Academy body pillows, fine. I'm not trying to stop you from putting it in your corner and doing whatever you want to do with it. I am going to address the developers because, seriously, guys, of all the products that you can give to your fan base and to your audience, this is the first thing that came to mind. I've often been, well, let me back up for half a step. I've come on this microphone and said that we deserve a lot more from this community than just the game. And we do. The level of talent we get from everybody who's involved in one of the top tier games, and I'm talking voice acting, artists, everything. Everything we get from that shouldn't just produce one static game. So I'm all for more merchandise and expanding what we can get from these games. What I am not for is a product that, when seen in public, and make no mistake about it, if Starswirl Academy makes it to, this BronyCon thing, and there's one news camera there, they're going to find the one walking around with the Face Summers body pillow. I will put money on the table for that one right now. The minute it happens, the one television news camera that will be there will find the one guy that was demoing Starswirl Academy and has a body pillow. I guarantee it. And that, with broad strokes, will paint the entire community. A community that's just now being noticed and recognized for its potential by the larger gaming world. And there's a time and a place for this thing. Like anime, you can, if you're an anime fan and you just have to walk around with a body pillow, you can get away with it now. But 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it would have had the same effect that doing it now would for EVNs. There will be a time if you just have to have it, you can get it. But right now, I think we as a whole, developers, consumers, players, reviewers, critics, we all have to come to an understanding that what we put out is going to be consumed by the larger gaming world, and it will define this community for those who have never even heard of it. For people who have only heard of Katawa Shelter, they have only seen the tip of the iceberg of what this entire community is capable of. They don't know, but they will make a judgment seeing somebody walk around with something as questionable as a Dakimakura. God, my Japanese is terrible. My point is that I want to see more merchandise, but I want to see it used in a way that grows everyone. I want something I can show people who have never heard of an EVN, and will get them interested in it without having them form a judgment call. And any real fan in their right mind, wants the exact same thing. And t-shirts are a bit of a stretch. Prints are that's going to be come and go. But something like I was just thinking about it the other day. If you had like a basic pendant from a symbol of the game, it can create attention and be just as accessible as a t-shirt or a figurine or a soundtrack. If you're listening to a soundtrack in your room, wherever you're at, and somebody hears it, that can give just as much attention as the party pillow, I guess. Only without the connotations that come with it. And that is something I have had to pull nails out under. We just found out this week that the Blue Rose soundtrack is available for purchase. I have been talking with the creator of Blue Rose to get that done for months now. And it's just now becoming available, and it's one of the better EVN soundtracks of the past year. Same goes for Combat Players music for Dysfunctional Systems. If you're just into kind of an electronica feel, great stuff. Isaac Shankler as well. And Rob Westwood would probably be the best stuff, just because of that mystical orchestral feel. And there's just so much potential here. We shouldn't have to jump right to something most people have made their minds up about to get attention. And again, if you want to purchase it, fine. If this is the way Zap Apple and the Sunrider team wants to go, good luck to you. But there's more that we can do here than just this. This should be the last in at the bottom of the totem pole of merchandise for any group. It shouldn't be the first thing out the gate. So that's kind of where I stand. Depending on what you think of body pillows, if you want to see more EV body pillows, again, I don't know why you would, but I would love to hear the rationale behind it. So come at me. jp@vnsnow.com is the email address, at vnsnow at VNSNOW is the Twitter handle. I would love to hear your comments about that, and I would love to hear from the creators of both teams just why they decided to go this route and what they saw as far as demand goes. In fact, I may reach out to them, and the next time we come on air, if we have answers, I would love to hear it. Because of all the potential things you have to do, this is where you start. It just doesn't. And I said in the previous edition of the show that one of the things that we have to start working on in this particular community is our business sense. A lot of people have good creative sense, but not good business sense. So this could have something to do with that. But again, it's just something that we're going to have to watch, and we'll see. But like I said, and mark my word on this one, if there's a television news camera somewhere at BronyCon, and they're selling these, Starswirl Academy is there and they're selling these pillows, it's going to be caught, and it's going to become viral in a way that you don't understand virality. It's going to be ridiculous. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I am looking forward to the next year we have together. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. This has been Sound Off. Y'all have a good one.